Okay guys, welcome to another flight. Today we are in Indonesia and we will be flying the new C-160 in the native MSFS 2024 version. Before we start, just some general information, as this will be like a longer flight, probably around 1 hour. I will include chapters both in the description and in the progress bar. So if you want to jump like to a specific section, feel free to do it. Okay, and with this, I think we can start. Maybe before we go over to the plane, I just want to talk a little bit about the channel. So we have reached 1000 views, which is a big success for me, and like I feel humbled and surprised that you guys want to watch it. But I'm happy and I will continue trying to provide the best content that I can. As you saw in the last days, I was pretty much uploading like one video every day, even if sometimes it was like a very short video. So I'm not sure if I will be able to continue it like for a long time, because now I simply saying have some days off, right? So it's easier. But I will still try to make it like 2-3 days, and in the future we see. So you can still expect like the content to continue coming. Another reason other than my days off is that currently we see a lot of very interesting releases and like updates to interesting releases. So pretty much there is always something interesting to stream. Let me just make it lower the volume a little bit, because I think I might be talking too loud. Okay, now I think it should be fine. Okay, and with this, let's talk about the plane. So when it comes to the old version of the plane, I was observing it when it came out in 2020. But it still didn't look that good, I think, and it had a lot of bugs, and people were saying the performance is not that good. So I was waiting, and now, actually 2 days ago, they have finally released the native 2024 version. I bought it on Contrail, not an advertisement, but I just heard in the last time that they have the fastest releases, fastest patches, and also like some developers were recommending them as the place to get the patches the fastest. And for example, with FSS, if they are publishing patches for the 727, it's almost always faster on Contrail, right? So not an advertisement, just my experience. And now we can switch to talking about the plane. So actually, this is a military plane. And when it comes to military planes, or aircraft in general, I'm always hyped, but then I don't really find any use for them. So they are less used than other ones. But here I saw that actually one of the liveries in the pack is a livery of an airline in Indonesia, right? So not an organization like the Red Cross, because it's also in the pack, and not the military, but just like an old clunky utility aircraft. So something that I simply love, right? So I had to get it. And now you are looking at it. When it comes to the airline, I think it was like active for 10 years, but the government had really like serious safety concerns with this airline. So in the end it was closed. So I think like it's the perfect airline for me. So I liked it like from the beginning. And today we will do a flight between 2 locations in Indonesia. Let me just show them to you. So we are in the capital, in Jakarta, and using VORs we will move here to Cilacap. I don't know, I won't butcher the name. Okay. We will be using VORs, and if you are interested in VORs and radio navigation, there is also the 727 flight where I was explaining how to set up the map in SkyVector. And this video will be also part of a playlist with only radio navigation in it, right? So there will be a lot of this stuff if you like it. Okay, with this, let's go back to our great plane. And as this is native 2024, we do have the walk around and we can click on stuff. Okay, let me just move back here, click, click, click. Oh, I didn't remember. Oh, okay. So if I take those off with C, crouching, right, then I also get rid of those. And also the engine ones. And this should be all. Here is like a great ramp with a lot of functionality, but I will just show it in a minute. Now we don't have power, so I cannot open it. They have really improved the textures, because the original version had them like pretty low res. Then they have like provided a free expansion where you could download better ones. But now I think they really look great. Well, not Phoenix great, but like for me, totally sufficient. Okay, click. 2024 functionality, and we are inside. Okay, let's take a look from the outside. Just want to make sure that the door is closed. Yeah, it closed behind us. Here we have an EFB, but we won't be using it much. I prefer to just use the standard functionality of the plane. So let's just check if we have everything. We do have fuel, the map we won't need, the autopilot we won't need. As you can see, like in the thumbnail, this will be just radio navigation, so nothing too modern. Okay. When it comes to the guides for this one, there is a lot of those, and they are conflicting, sadly. So yesterday when I bought it, I had a lot of problems because the official guide from the makers was done like for an older version where a lot of stuff was either working differently or it was set up differently in the beginning. Then other people made guides for it, and then when they have recorded them, some of those settings were also different, like different than they are now and different than they were in the beginning. So I got totally lost. But now I think I understand it, and I will show it to you. I'm just wondering, why can I hear the outside sounds? This is also something that I have like noticed yesterday, because there is actually like a functional window that will allow you to hear the engines, but I still hear, well, the outside sound, right? Either way, not a big problem. Let's proceed. Okay. So first we have batteries, battery 1 and battery 2. This is pretty loud. We turn this off here. Okay. So as we have the batteries now, so once again, those two, right, bat 1, bat 2, then we can already proceed with the APU. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And here we have a special APU panel. So let me just make sure that I remember it correctly before I start clicking. Yeah, first the air inlet for the APU, and you can see it's operating. I can show it to you on the outside. Bloop, 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 bloop. This is this one that just opened, right? A nice visual effect. Let me show you again. Yeah, very nice. I always love when stuff like on the outside moves if you click something inside. Okay. And now if I haven't mixed anything up, we should be able to just start the APU. And we can see it here starting. It has its own APU gauge, right? Gauge. So we will just start until it will be 100%, and I can show it to you from the outside. It's actually here. The whole APU is hidden without this nacelle, right? So air comes in here and goes out here. Must be pretty hot here, so probably a good idea to not stand here. And now we can see the air moving. Okay. So let's go back to the cockpit. Look, short jump. It is a little bit performance heavy, but luckily this is like not something that you will fly from big airports, right? So here, like in Indonesia, with those like small cities and like small amount of details, it performs fine for me. And you can see like my hardware in the description of the channel. That's nothing special. Okay, so we have 100 RPM. And what do I want? I want actually bleeder, because I will want to start the engines with it, right? Okay, so let's move back up. So now I want the beacon, so the anti-collision light, it's here. Some of the lights are here, but not all, okay? And we will want to change to APU. So this is GPU, and this is APU, okay? Click, we are on APU. Here we have the description. This is generator 1, generator 2, generator 3, and generator 4. And the one in the inside is actually not a generator. I mean, it is, but not one from the engines. This is the APU and the GPU. Okay. Okay, so we are on GPU. There is also this valve here, but we can see APU is open, right? Here we can see open, so it's providing the bleed air for our start. Okay. It's actually more laggy than when I was testing it, but I think we can still do it. Okay, so how to start the engines? It's actually easy. If you don't watch like 10 conflicting tutorials like I did yesterday. So first, here we have, those are actually displays. They are now saying that it's norm, so we have to move it to start. Okay. So we will be starting with the right side. Okay, and we need to turn on the pumps for the right side. There is a lot of switches, a lot of generators, a lot of stuff, but in the end, we only have 2 engines. So I almost got confused because like looking at all of those generators, I was thinking I have 4, but it's only 2. So all of the side is 1 and the other side is the second one. Very powerful generators. It's like, I think 6,000 horsepower or something. So this is really overpowered. Okay. So now this is the ignition, the general ignition. It's like in an Airbus, right? Where you switch it to ignition. And then this is the ignition switch for the specific engine. And we actually don't need to take off this one because this protection is only for in-air starting, okay? But we will need to move it down because we are on the ground. So normal starting on the ground is down. Okay, and here we can see that the fuel pressure is there. And this starts starting. So we are ignoring this one that is like moving around and just looking at this one. When it reaches 2000, okay, then we will introduce fuel. Slow, slow, slow. Okay. You can move it to the front, it will be blocked, right? So you don't need to fear that it will be too much. Okay. Now we have ignition. As far as I know, there are no failures, so it's not possible to mess it up. But if you do, sorry, I wasn't able to yesterday. Okay, and you can hear the nice sounds. We can move to the outside, but let me lower the volume because I don't know how loud it will be. Okay, not that bad, but if we will add power, this will get pretty loud, but it's also cool. And it should stabilize around 10, right? So 10,000 RPM. Okay, and with this, let me now double check. Yes, we can move this idle lever, because this is how it's called, back to normal. Let me see. Yeah, the engine stays. Okay, now we do the same with the other one. It changes to start. We are turning on all of the pumps. Okay, this is already on ignition, so this is fine. So we only move down this one, and we have the confirmation that it works. And here also, let's wait for 2000. It's actually not that hard if you get a clear instruction for this one. Okay, so it's 2000. The problem with the tutorials that I saw was that they were also doing all of the fire tests in between, right? So it was just too much for a new person that is starting it the first time. You got lost somewhere in between. Okay, let's move outside. nice heavy meaty sound. Okay, and we can move the idle lever back to normal. Okay, and now we are ready with this, so we can move the ignition to normal, just one step up. Okay, so next, what do we do next? Like in every airliner, I guess, we will switch to the generators now that the engines are off. So let's move back up, loop. Here, generator 1, generator 2, generator 3, generator 4. There is also one additional step. We have to close those transfers because they are only for the APU. So we need them up because the generators are up. Okay? Okay. And now, as the generators are on, we can turn off the APU, which is here. Okay. I'm always afraid of red lights, but this is correct. Okay. So other stuff. Here we have the bleed air, right? Here. So APU is open, but now we need the bleed air from the engines. So we will move the sides. Okay. Now the engine bleed air is open, and the APU bleed air is shut down. It's closed. Okay. So now, as we have fully switched to the engines, we can turn off the APU. Although there might be special situations where you would need additional power, anti-icing and stuff, then you would keep it like for startup and takeoff. But in this case, we are just doing like a normal one. Okay, so it's here. Sorry for the jumping, but it's like a lot of stuff here. Okay, and for me, it's different than in videos that I have seen, because in videos that I have seen, the APU start was staying up, right? It should be on, and then people were just moving it to off. But for me, it for some reason switches down. Maybe it's a thing in the new version, right? So for me to turn off the APU, I actually need to close the air inlet. Okay, but first let's get rid of this bleed air. Okay, we don't need it anymore. And now let's close the air inlet, and this should kill the APU. Okay, let's go outside. And we have closed this one, and the APU is dying down. Okay. Oh, it's really laggy. Strange. Yesterday I had really good performance. Okay. So now, can I open the ramp from here? I haven't tried it from other places than the EFB. Yeah, ramp open. Okay, maybe it's not that complicated. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. One cool thing is that you can also make the plane kneel down, so it's easier to load cargo. This will be this one. Sadly, it's only neutral and rising, because normally, from what I read, this is done like by a person outside. So let's open the EFB. Here we have the shortcut for the EFB. Oops, it's here. And first we will close the gear compartment, because it doesn't need to be on. And you can see those nacelles are closed now. Okay, and then we have fuse lowering. Oh, I'm not sure if you should do it when the engines are on, but okay, it's happening now. And now I think you can use this one to raise it, but I haven't tried it before, so if it explodes, then it's not my fault. Okay, are we raising? Or do we need the EFB for it? Yeah, we are. Okay, and let's look what we have loaded. Let me check. Okay, this is my window view, and this is my cargo view. You can adjust a lot of stuff here. You can adjust like people, You can adjust like armored vehicles. There is a lot of stuff here. And there is also like parachuting functionality. So you can have those like parachuting troopers or whatever here, and they will actually jump out, and you will see them using the parachute. So this is pretty cool. But today we are kind of running the civilian version, so I will not show it to you. Maybe I was already considering maybe I would do like a mission and the mission hub from Miltech with dropping some like parachuting troopers, right? Okay, I think we can close the ramp. You have seen it already. Oops, whoops. Whoa, so laggy, so strange. I had like great performance yesterday. Okay. Okay, let's not get distracted too much. So those are the IRSs, like in an Airbus, like in a modern plane, right? And this is our FMS, our FMC, whatever you prefer to call it. And this is our weather radar, which is functional, but it's just the standard radar from ESOPO. Okay, so let's move it to standby. And let's move up. So here we have our transponder. Let's move it to standby, and let's assume that our squawk is 2334. Okay. Other stuff. Fuel pumps. So once again, what I saw in the videos was conflicting. Some people said that like B needs to be turned off, but others were just keeping everything, right? So I'm not sure, I would just keep everything. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, how to turn those on? We have those turn knobs here, okay? And they are ready. Here we have heading, here we have course, right? Click, can center the heading. Okay, and I was talking so much that I am for sure, I have for sure forgot something. Okay, here we have the trim. There is no one version how to do it, and there are no tables for trimming. I've asked around, and like people are doing like half an inch, I don't know, half one position behind, but it depends on the center of gravity that you will load. For us, let's just use it like this one. Okay, altimeter, let me just check. So, Whiskey India Hotel, okay. 1008. Is it? Yeah, it is. We are lucky that they are using like the European format here, because I don't know how to do it in an inch, right? So maybe you would need a calculator, or maybe there is one with like a double scale, but I don't see it. Okay, so we are lucky here. Okay, so now our FMC is on. So we will go into Alt to set up our cruising altitude. Okay, and there will be some mountains. So let's do it 5,000 in the beginning, and then we will adjust it. Okay, so we have 5,000. We need to move to the place that we want to change and press enter. The funny thing is that this will be different on different pages. Okay, and I can show you now. So here we were using enter, but if we go to here, so the navigation sources, here we will use pre to add what we have said, and I'm about to show you. Okay, so we will be going to this VOR here, which is 117.0. Okay, so let's just here 117.000. Okay, and we want to have it as nav1. So we need to be on nav1, and we are, and we click pre, and it's added here. And now we click transfer, and it's moved to the main frequency. Okay, let's get the second one. Our final, whoops, I moved it by mistake, 114.9. Okay, so let's have it here, 114.9 into pre-select, and also as the main one in nav2, 114.9. Okay, let's move it down here into pre-select, so it's here, and now transfer to move it here. Okay, so it will be the secondary here, the standby here, and the active here. Okay. Okay, so let's proceed with stuff then. Okay, I'm moving back up. A lot of stuff, as you can see, like in the space shuttle. When I was like very small, I had like the space shuttle simulator, and it was like switches all around. So this is why I'm so crazy now, probably. Okay, let me just close this one. And what do we need? Let's get the taxi light. I can show it to you. It's pretty interesting. It's here. It's like moving down. Okay. Yeah, it's just moved down, and now it lights up. Okay. In this one, we don't use it for takeoff for some reason. Maybe it's just like not like robust enough, I guess. Okay, so let's do a quick sweep here. Loop, loop, loop. So luckily we have the lights here that kind of tell us what is left. So pitot heating, this is like the angle of attack sensor. This is windshield heating. Okay, it's pretty hot, right? Because we're in Indonesia, we would probably normally wait till takeoff for this one. That's saying I don't think it will overheat, so it shouldn't be a problem. So let's talk about methanol. So this is an injection into the engine to raise the possible power of the engine. It kind of lowers temperature, which allows it to use more engine. So this is for very short starts, when you need all of the power possible. For us, the runway is pretty long, so we don't need it. Okay, let me just take a last look here. We can check the generators. One. Okay. Okay. So I don't fully understand the logic behind it. Some of them are around zero or close to zero, like this one. I would need to read it. So in general, the manual has 120 pages and is really well made. That's saying we don't need it for the flight today. No? Okay. We do have pressurization, so we can go higher than like 12,000, but we won't use it. We won't be using it like during our today's flight. Okay. And here I think you cannot set. Or maybe you can, because actually, based on the description, you are only setting the cabin altitude, right? So, for example, when we were flying the 727, the cabin altitude was around 6,000, despite us being at 30,000, right? But maybe the scale here, I'm not sure. It seems more like the cabin altitude, because this one can go higher than 20,000, so this would not make sense. So assuming that the system would be similar, like in the 727, if we would want to go up, we would set around 5,000, I guess. But this is not needed. This is also not needed. A lot of the stuff is not needed, luckily. In future videos, I will show you all, I guess, but for now, only what you need to really fly. And that's actually like the majority of stuff. Okay. When it comes to flaps, here we have the flaps. 20 is the standard setting for takeoff, so let's just use it. Okay. Let me make sure the engine is not too loud and you guys can hear me. I think it should be fine. Okay. And we also have air brakes, so I can show them now because they are pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, so also pretty massive stuff. I'm really concerned with those like freezes. I hope it's not that bad on the video. Okay, ground speed, wind speed, please. And we also want to see nav1. So this is the arrow for nav1, this is the arrow for nav2. Okay, so for now we just want to see nav1. Okay, so like this. And let's go back to our great map in SkyVector. Here, and let's just see what the course is that we will need to take. 134. Okay, 134. So here. I'm not a big fan of how it's working. I saw that in the new control method, so that the bluish one, it's much faster. But in the legacy one, it's as slow as you can see, which is really annoying, like for radio navigation, because you need to set up a lot of like curses, right, when flying with VORs. Okay, so we have this setup. We have this setup. Let me just change the heading back. It's also not my favorite one. Come on. I will sit here the whole day. Maybe if I click shift, is it faster? No, not really. So this is pretty much the only downside of the plane that I have found now, that like the knobs in the legacy method are like very slow. Okay, and with this, I think we can roll. So we don't have any warning lights here. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. I'm not sure about this one, because in the manual there is something about like the yellow hydraulic, not line, but system, and that it should be changed to auto before the start. But here it's nowhere described like this one, so I'm not sure. We will see like on the run-up. Just to show you the cockpit, it's actually 3 people flying this plane. This is like the engineer that is sitting here, right, and adjusting everything. And this is for the navigator, and there is also like a 5th person that is handling the cargo, right? So it's a pretty funny group. You can have a party here. Okay, and there is also other great stuff like this one. Always love when it works. So you can see a lot of stuff like from a well, high quality AAA release, and I do appreciate this one. Okay, so let me just take a look around. Okay, so I could have sworn that there were no planes around me when I started. I'm kind of afraid to do like a reverse back, because I haven't tried it and there is nothing in the manual, and some planes get like unbalanced when you do it. So I will probably not do it, because if we tip over, then I will have to restart everything that I have done. And this would be really sad, right? So we will just move to the side through one of those guys. Okay, and maybe let me turn on the lights, because last time I needed it later and it was hard to do during the flight, just because like I needed an additional hand. Right? So here for the pedestal, and there for the overhead panel, right? Okay, oops, let's adjust everything. So laggy, so strange. I just assume it must be the fog here. Or maybe somebody said that one of the settings in the EFB is causing lag, so let me just check it. Those propeller vortices. So let's try that. Let's just turn them off. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit more fluent. We will see. Okay. Oops. Okay. Let me check the wind once again. So it's okay from 70 to 20 knots. Okay, 20 knots, pretty strong. So this is where we are. We are here. So what was the direction again? Okay, the direction was 70. Okay. So let me close this one. So it's pretty much exactly from here. So we will taxi to here and start like this. Okay, let's do it. Parking brake. And it's pretty much immediately starting to roll. As far as I know, there is no beta range, at least like there is no simulated, right? Sorry, Okay. It's very easy to taxi, it's like very stable. The only problem is that it's trying to run away from you, right? Because there is no beta. If I would switch to reverse, it's not going into beta, but it's like standing still, right? Coming to a halt. I can show you because it's a great sound when it does that. Let me just increase the volume. Okay. From the outside. Okay. For some reason I'm actually taxiing still, and I told you that it should like come to a halt, because yesterday it actually was. Maybe it had like a slightly different cargo, or maybe there's a slope down here. Okay. Oh, and now we are holding. So what I said was true. Like always, obviously. Okay. So when it comes to the landing distance, it's somewhere between 2,500 and 5,000, depending on a lot of factors, at least according to the manual and the tables there. Here I don't know what it exactly will be, but this runway has around like 8,000 feet, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'm not sure if I said feet, obviously what I said was in feet, right? From what I know, here in Jakarta there is like a couple of high buildings, so let's hope we will not collide with them, because sadly there is no radio navigation based departure. All of the departures from the city are GPS, and we are not flying with GPS, right? Okay, so here we are coming close to the holding line, so let's just hold here, auto brake, not this one, and let's set the plane up. Okay, so I don't want the taxi light anymore, but I want the landing lights. Okay, I will move it to auto because I think this is what they mean, but I'm not sure. I did it yesterday and it was working. Okay, any other stuff? Let me just see. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. So here, weather radar to emission, so we can turn it on already. Here, this should be fine, 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 fine. Those are the condition levers, right? So let's move them to full, and you can listen to it. Let me do the outside view. Okay, let's proceed with the stuff, just to make sure that I'm not talking too much and not setting up the plane enough. And this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Just a lot of buttons. We might have to turn back the time a little bit, because I'm afraid that it's getting like dark very fast. And the airport where we will land is pretty small, so there might be no illumination, right? So we will not be able to land otherwise. Okay, as far as I see, everything is ready for us. Okay, we can also take a look at the checklist. It's pretty concise, luckily. I'll just show you. Okay, so before takeoff. APU we don't need. This is the yellow hydraulic pump auto, so I assume that it's what we have done, but I'm not sure. Okay, flaps, okay, conditional levers, high idle, so we have this, landing lights, yes, taxi light retracted, this is what I said, right? No taxi light for the takeoff. Water methanol pumps we don't need, pitot heat we do, angle of attack we do have, the heating, this heating, fuel pumps we have, alarms are off. Power levels full forward, and this is also something that was different in different guides. according to what I saw, and like the author was basing on like German army manuals or whatever, it should be only 15,000 RPM. So here, but the manual is saying full forward, right? So I don't know. We will check it out. Okay. Let me just make sure we have the right view. Okay. And I think we can do it. I mean, it feels like a tank. I really like it. Great flying weather, like always when I'm recording. Okay, whoa, that's a lot of like room to turn around. Or am I going the wrong way to turn around? I'm not sure. It's, oh, like this one. Okay, I can do it. I can do the Indonesian turn. Okay, so I will trust the other YouTuber and do a takeoff with 1500, and we will see how this will work. Okay, turn. We should have a lot of spare room here. Let's check. Okay, this is fine. We are supposed to step on the brakes, so this is also how I will do the start. Now let's hope that this will work. Look. Okay. This is really distracting. Like in the beginning I was thinking I'm like going over the limit, right? Because it's red. Okay, and we are at 1500. Sorry, I just need to adjust the camera. And let's try to start. So takeoff speed is somewhere between 100 and 110. Let me give you the full volume. Is needed. Gear up. So I'm not sure if I shouldn't set like the trim differently, because each time I pretty much have to yank it from the ground. Okay. Okay, let me reduce the volume. Okay. And as I said, a lot of buildings, so we need to watch out. Flaps up, one step. Okay, flaps up the other step. And let's just start turning slowly. Yeah, I'm not sure about those like 1500 RPM, right? So 15,000 RPM. It does feel sluggish. Okay, let me show it to you from the outside. Oops, it's talking. A second. Oh, because actually the gear didn't come up. It's strange, right? Press it. Okay, now it should be fine. trim, trim, trim. And as you can see on the HSI, right, we are on course. Let me just make sure that we will not go down. Actually, the textures in the outside view when I did it didn't look that great, but when I was close to it, they were. So I don't know, maybe it's just like the lighting that we have. So as far as I understand this lever here, it's not a free position lever like in the 727, so you are not supposed to move it to the center position, because it's here it's up, here it's down, and here it's emergency. So actually when I wanted to move it to the center last time, it did go down, so this is not what I wanted. Okay, now it wants to move up. It doesn't feel as nuanced as the 727, which I like really love to hand fly, but it still feels very good, like a tank, I guess. So how you would expect. Okay, let us gain some more altitude. I'm just flying by hand for now. Once you trim it up, it's like pretty docile. Just have a problem with like finding the exact place where it will be trimmed. Okay, seems fine. You can just trim it to the side a little bit. It's obviously wanting to go to the left. Okay, so we have flaps up, gear up, everything is fine here. I'm actually not holding the joystick, so you can see it's pretty stable. Just need to maybe adjust the aileron trim. And once we are over the mountains, we will talk about the autopilot. Okay, so landing lights can go off. Let me just make sure it's stable. It kind of is. But let's go into the outside view. Yeah, I don't know. Now for some reason it looks bad, but on the ground and when I was flying it was looking great, so I just assuming it's the lighting. Okay, let's take a look around. We can also do our window view. Okay, let's go back to the cockpit. Okay, and we are pretty high. So I will now show you the autopilot. So it's here. Here you turn it off, turn it on. Loop. Okay. Radio will follow the radial, right, of the VOR. It should move to the radial, but we also want altitude, which is this one. Yeah, and it moved. Oops, sorry. So now you can see it going down and up. This is because it's trying to catch what we have set here, and we have set 5,000. Okay, and we were already above 5,000. Okay, so it decided to move down to catch what we have set. Okay, if we let him stabilize, I will show you the rest. So here we can see we are following VOR1, so this one, and we are on alt. But you need to remember that alt is not just alt hold, but it's also alt capture, right? So it might do like violent stuff if you do it. Okay, so now I want to go up. So I need 6,000 right here, enter. And now it will move up also pretty violently, but you can influence the vertical speed with this one. The problem with this one is that I really don't like it, because it's very unprecise, okay? And actually here down is down and up is up, which is different than in a lot of those other sliders, okay? I don't know, I read this part of the manual like 5 times, and most of the time it's doing what I wanted to do, but like not always. Let me just see if it will try to capture it. Okay, so let's try it again. Let's move it slightly, and it goes up slightly. Let's move it some more, and it doesn't do anything. Okay. I was thinking I got it to like work so nicely. Either way, you can just not use it at all. Pretty much what you will be doing is setting up the altitude. Oh, I know, because it has changed the altitude to the current altitude. So let's move it to 6,000 now. Okay, and now it will move up. It just loves those 2,000 for some reason, and it's doing it up or down. Okay, I think we might have influenced it with this one, because it's not going full 2,000, right, to capture the 6,000. Let me lower the volume of the engine, because I hope you can hear me. Okay, and we are at 6,000. So in general it works really well. Sometimes it's just a little bit violent, but maybe because I don't understand the whole logic behind it. But like in the manual there is only a very short description that I will show you once we reach the VOR, because I don't want to like lose my focus again, right? So let me see. So once we are in cruise, we can use prop sync. Click. And now it should be like a little bit more silent, like the engine should not be so loud. Actually the propellers, right, because they are synced now. I don't really hear much of a difference. Let me just make it like louder for you again so you can listen to it. Okay, either way what the plane is trying to do is capture this radial here. So let's take a look at our map. Not this one, this one. So we are somewhere here, and here we will need to watch out for mountains. And the highest ones will be 6,000. So I think we should be fine. This one is 7, but as long as we keep the path, we should be more or less safe, I guess, 6,000. And this one, yeah, 6,000, okay. And it's nicely on the radio. And here we also have wind speed, right? Because I set this one to wind speed. We can also set it to ground speed, right? 250. Okay. Oops. Okay. You can take a look into the back. And here you also have side doors that you can also open, and those doors are what will be used by the parachuters, like, well, the troopers that will jump out, right? But if you would have a vehicle, you could also make it jump out with the parachute, and then it will be like thrown out here. Pretty cool. And as I said, despite me not liking military aircraft, well, maybe not liking, I like them, but I don't really find much use for them. This kind of inspires me to maybe do a mission in the hub, right? The Miltech hub for this one. Okay, and we are nicely cruising along. I just double check if everything is fine. And actually here we should also set the QNH, right? to be sure that this is like true 6000. Sadly, there are not many weather stations around here, and this one was saying 1010. Was it? I don't remember setting 1010. 10.8. Okay. Okay. And oh, okay. So it's just taking over what was provided there. This is fine. Okay. Actually, I don't know why my inside views are so violent. Because like for other people, it's just moving to the right view, and for me, it's always like jumping around. Either way, yeah, everything seems fine. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, okay. So we are coming close to the radial. So let's adjust the heading back slowly. Let's prepare for a frequency change, maybe. Okay, so the next one will be 114.9er. We can check NEF2 if 11.49er is already read, right, by the plane, and it's still in the neutral position. So we can still not use 114.9er, right? So we have to use this one. Okay. So heading, changing to heading select. So now it will follow this one. And now let's prepare for the course change. So we were flying on 134 and we'll be changing to 116. Okay. So let's just use this one here, 116. Okay. We need to be careful because we have mountains around, right? Let's not crash into anything. Okay, and once we are inside like 3 miles, maybe 2.5, we will do the turn to the new course. There should be also like an airport somewhere. I think this is this one. Yeah, this is the runway. Okay, and let's just, oh no, it's the heading back that I hate. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's a nice turn. And we are going over the runway. I'm sure nobody minds. I mean, as you remember, like this airline was closed down because like of the safety standards. So it's a total match. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and now once we are over the VOR and out of the cone of confusion, right, then we will be able to navigate it again. I mean, radio navigation is just so relaxing. But like also manual, right, in a way. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just adjust the heading slightly, although this is going back still, just by a little bit, right, to move back on the radial. And let's take a look how long we will have to fly on this radial. 100 miles until we are at the destination runway. Okay, well, this is fine, it's a pretty fast plane, so it should be fast. Okay, so an additional heading here, adjustment, and now we can go into radio. So it's like nav, right, in normal planes. Just don't fly into the mountain, please, and it should be fine. It's not that bad. You pretty much have nav here, heading select here, and alt, but as I said, you need to watch out because alt is actually catching the set altitude and not just holding it. So it can do some crazy stuff. So normally like the vertical speed that alt is working at should be modifiable by using this one, but for me it's very imprecise, so I'm not sure. And I think I'm doing it how they have described it, right? Maybe it's like it's in the real one. Oops. Okay, and now we can also open nav1, and once this moves, right, then we will know that we have the other VOR in range. Okay, so no bad weather, because this should be working. Let me just make sure that it should be working. Yeah, it's on a mission, so this is fine. One thing that we have forgot is turning on the transponder. Right. Okay. Oops, whoops. Let's take a look outside. Like a sports stadium. Is it a runway? I'm not sure. Let's just check if everything is fine up here. Okay, no strange red lights, no surprises, nothing. So when it comes to this one, we actually can launch flares, right? So let me show you. This would be a little bit like not immersive, sorry, because we are this like airline, but still I want to show you. So I will launch one. Is it this one? This one? Are we launching them? We are not. Okay. So maybe we need something else. Fire. React. I'm not sure. I have not done it before. I was just like watching, well, reading the manual. Okay. So maybe like this. Oh. But they are being launched, right? You can see there is less and less. So maybe you are not allowed to switch views because, let me just go back. They have described that they have added like a hotkey. So maybe this is why the hotkey was added. Let me just check if we are not flying into the mountain, outside view. Nah. Okay. We are safe. If the autopilot doesn't do anything strange, we should be fine. Okay, and this one is still dead, right? So we need to get some more distance. Indonesia. And what I like about MSFS is that they really now have like a lot of those like of trees species, right? So like exotic places really look different than like the woods in Europe, which makes like visiting those exotic places like more unique. I'm not sure about this mountain ahead of us. Let me just take a look at the map again. Okay, so this is probably this one. So only the very peak has 6,000, so this should be fine. As long as MSFS like is really so good at this one, right? If it's really the correct height. Okay, oops, no, not like this one. Let me adjust the curves for nav2. So I have clicked curves select. Oh, we have it already, sorry. And we can see 73, yeah. It was not moving, but because it was not like pointing where I wanted it to point. So we can switch to the destination VOR then. Let me just, let me think about this one. Okay, so when we are changing the source, right, we are moving to heading select, okay. Let me make sure we are not going into the mountain. I think we are safe. Okay, and now we just switch this one, so transfer, we are prepared, right? And now we don't need nav2 anymore, because nav2 should be the same as nav1. Okay, let me move the heading back. Let me make sure I didn't mess it up. Here we can see VOR1, okay, 114.9, 114.9, this should be fine. Actually, let me stay on heading until we are away from this mountain, because I don't want him to do like violent corrections to the right now, right? This would be very sad if this would happen. Let's take a look. Some nice villages here. Oh, actually almost looks like a volcano, like on Hawaii when we are. Okay, let me just check if we are not flying into the mountain. Nah, totally safe. We are trusting the map. Maps are always right? Okay. Okay. So you need to switch back course select to nav1 to have the distance. Okay. So this is something that I learned now. Okay, don't go down, please, plane. Okay, outside view. Okay, now we can go on radio, which is nav. Right? Okay, so let me brief you on the approach. So like here. So here we will go straight in. As you can see, like Sky Vector is already suggesting what like the heading of the runway is. So in this case, there is like no strong wind from the other side because it's coming from here. Well, at least on the close airports, it's coming from here. So the direction that you are flying will be actually the one that we will land on. That saying, you can see like a slight difference in the curves here and the heading. So this is why we will change to another radial. And I will just show you how to do it. Let me just make this full screen. Okay, so this is the approach to the destination airport, and we are kind of, I think, flying like this one or like this one, I don't remember. So we just will need to change to radial 127, right? And this way we will be coming in from the right direction, from the right heading to go strictly straight to the runway. Okay. Okay, still some time left. Ooh, some clouds. Nice. Let's take a look at the weather radar. Range. Oh, it was actually at 5 miles. Okay, so it's not very useful. We'll just increase it. I like this metallic click. Let me make it louder for you. Just so you can. Very nice. Yeah, this is better than in the 727 that like had like those plasticky clicks that didn't really fit what it was really. Okay, so we do have some side wind, but this should be fine. Let's not fly into a mountain. Pretty nice. Vanilla sky. Okay, I think we can turn this off. Or maybe I need this one. Do I need this one? No, it's 0. Okay, let me try again. No? Really? No? Oh, now I can see it. But I... Okay. Looks buggy. But it works. Okay. Yeah, just assume like flying in Indonesia is really dangerous, and I'm sure it's not, right? So we still have those on board. Okay. If you're from Indonesia, sorry. Okay. Let me just... I just want to center the heading back. Okay. So this is something that they could improve, right? It's... I'm sure it's not easy to do, but it's done better in other planes. Okay. So here let's switch to Alt. Just to tell you, there is also an FMS here, right? And you can also use external GPS. So if you are not into radio navigation, which is set because it's great, then you can just like use it as a classic plane. Okay, everything is fine. It's actually a little bit too bright, I think, but if it would be like darker, I could show you the lighting, which is really great. We will see. Maybe on the ground it will get like darker. There will be also a problem when we will be landing. From what I remember, there is a lot of trees around the runway, so probably much more than is realistic for this runway. So we will see how the landing will look like. Okay, we can go down a little bit. It might be a little bit violent, as I said, but still, I want to show you. So let's go down to 4,000. Okay, here. And enter. Okay, and it starts already. It should go down to 2000, and even, well, this really looks bad. I'm just glad it's just like a cargo flight and not with passengers. But it's keeping around those 2000, so it's fine. It's just like moving down very, very fast and violent, like more than civilian planes, I guess. Okay, let's reduce the speed so we don't overspeed. Okay, center the heading back, and we wanted 4,000. Okay, so let's see what it does. Okay, let me take away some more power. Oh, okay, this one was pretty nice. It's reducing it already to not overshoot it, right? Not bad. It's not very stable on the radial, but besides that, I like it. But I wouldn't use Alt close to mountains, right? Okay, let me just shaky. Okay, now it should be fine. And we are pretty much at 4,000. I guess the soldiers in the back can take it. Here you also have a horn for the soldiers. If you just want to make them annoyed, you can use it. Yeah. Here are like the different signals, right, for the parachuting troopers. Are those called parachuters? I don't know. Okay, now we can go down even more. 3,000. Is it 3,000? Yeah, it is. Okay. So it can be pretty automated. This time we don't have like VIP passengers. Oh, we can see it works. How far away? Oh, exactly at the airport, right? I think. Yeah. So we will see. Or at least at the approach to the airport. Oops. I really need to figure out why other people don't have this jump when they go to a different, like, inside custom view. Maybe, guys, if you know and you could help me out, you can post it in the comments, right? I would appreciate it. Because I think it's also not like fun for you to watch if like the screen is jumping all of the time back and forth. Okay, so let's prepare slowly for the approach so we can turn off the propeller sync. Okay. Yeah, and for now this is all. It's trying to catch it. I think maybe they could work on this one a little bit more, because like in other even like very old but high fidelity planes, it does a little bit of a better job. So I don't think it's just simulating like that this autopilot is primitive. I think this is maybe something that could be improved in the sim. I don't know, maybe this is realistic. And judging by the wind, we will be landing in the right direction, right against the wind, if it doesn't change. Okay, so let's go back to our approach charts. Okay, and let's see what they expect. So here we should be at 1700, okay, to start the approach, and the distance here is 5 nautical miles, right? So at 5.1 nautical, oh, there is also, no, I think this is the threshold. So at 5.9, we should be at 1700 and start going down, okay? But we still need to intercept this radial 127, okay? So let's do it now. First, whenever we are like playing around, let's switch to heading select to not mess it up. Here, and now it was 127, so we need to switch to 127. Am I switching? No, this is the heading. Okay, so here. Okay, and we can see the radial is on the right side, so now we will catch it. Okay, and we can also go down to, let me just see what the safe, okay, I'm looking at like the safe heights around the airport, and it's like not as good as I was thinking. Actually, there are some mountains around it, so for now let's just do 2200. Okay, enter. Oops. I'm not as confident to do it close to the ground, right? But we will see. Okay, this is 127, and it's starting to move, so we are getting closer. Okay, let me just see. 20 miles, and this is 20 miles. Okay, so this is pretty much the weather above the runway, I think, because maybe 20 miles is here, so this will be 10 miles. Okay, some mountains ahead. So I will be just staying at this altitude for some time. Don't want to crash into anything. Is it moving down? Yeah, it is, very slowly. Okay, so this is not me doing anything, so this is wind. Great. Once again, a landing with turbulence and maybe no visibility. No, but seriously, if there will be no visibility, I will probably change the weather, because this is like a very small airport. There might not even be some lights there, right? So I like hard, but not like hard suicide. Okay. Okay, come on, come on. Okay. Okay, some nice views, we can take a look. Okay, now you can see the lights here already work. Oh, because I forgot to set it to on, sorry. So now I can show it to you. Let me just show you, just make sure that we are catching this one. So let's choose radio. Okay, slowly, is it rain? Okay, that's just great. Okay. Okay, so let me show you. So first we have the normal light, right? But we also have ultraviolet light, which is also pretty cool. And we also have green light, right? So let me use the normal one. Okay. So we are on VOR 1. We are holding the altitude. And I think we need to be much slower now. Okay. And now I will just shut up because I need to prepare the plane and not crash. So 1700. Okay, we can use the air brakes. Okay, let's just not forget to close them. Whoa, 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 they are really effective. Okay, so I didn't want to be that slow. Well, I'm not sure if I should see it already. Okay, let me add it. It's trying to catch 1700, which is not easy. Okay. I don't think we need the wipers because they are just annoying. Okay, let's park. Were they always here or did they? Yeah, it just parked in the middle. Okay. Okay, I will need to make it day, sadly. Because I will not see the runway otherwise, so we need some light. Okay, and it's like 9. So I think this is it. Let me just make sure that we are right. 127, 127. Okay, let me just reduce the speed. And we should descend when we have 5.1. Okay, I think I will use the air brakes again, but this is really annoying. Park them. Okay, thank you. Okay, air brakes. Okay, and why am I not seeing the runway yet? Okay, flaps down. Normally the landing is with flaps 40, from what I could see. Oh, this is the runway. Okay. So like as with radial flying, we should be here, right? It's just the plane that was not able to catch it. So let's see if we can do a better job. Manual flying. The radial was actually fine, right? If we move to the side and then back, we should be able to land. Okay, let me just go gear down, outside view. Whoops, 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 we lost some height. So I'm being thrown around here. Okay. Okay, let's move the flaps down. There is only like a speed provided for maximum flap extension, but we will not do it with maximum flaps. So I'm actually not sure what the approach speed should be in this one. So I will just do 120 and let's just hope that it will be fine. I could see people landing with 100 on flaps 40. So we will try to get like a touchdown with 100, but it might be difficult because of the trees, right? We go up a little bit. Whoa, we are really like moving to the sides. That's strange. Okay. Might be the wind, right? Because we had this weather on the radar. Just increase the speed so we don't crash more than we need to. Okay. Those are the trees I was talking about. Okay. Okay. Full reversers, manual braking. It's a short runway aircraft, right? Okay. I'm sure like the loading master in the back is not happy, but it's the fault of the trees, right? If somebody asks, they were not properly cut. Okay. And welcome to Sila Cup, I guess. It's also called Tunggul Wulung. Guys, if there is somebody from Indonesia, I'm really sorry. Okay? Next time we can like fly to Poland, then we can make jokes out of Polish names. Okay, some nice views here. Okay. Like with this going down, it's almost like on those Caribbean islands. I don't remember the name now, but there's like, you have to go over a mountain and then like quickly down. Okay. Oh, now the graphics actually look good, right? So it depends on the light. Let me just show you outside view. I don't know, maybe it was my computer just like throttling down the textures because it was like close to the limit. Actually, I had some lags like the whole time on the computer today, so maybe this is why it didn't look the best when we started. Okay, flaps up. Is it even like a taxiway? Let me see from the outside. Yeah, we will just take the asphalt one. I can open the window. Let me see if it won't be too loud. No, it should be fine for you. Okay. So this kind of looks like an European building, but those look like they fit better. Okay, you just turn around. Wow, some great hardware that they are flying here. Okay. I just love those like random planes. The worst thing was when I was like, let me close the window. I just had a phase where I was like flying some old planes, like very old planes, even older than like World War II, right? And then they were spawned everywhere around, right, on the airports, which didn't fit at all. Okay, either way, let's turn off this one. We don't need them to get cancer, right, because of the radiation. Let's start the APU, open the inlet here. Okay, let's say it's open, start the APU. Should be starting, this is fine. Let's just get rid of all of the lights that we don't need. Okay, it's fine. And we don't need the heating here, it's hot enough. Okay, I'm not sure about this one, to be honest, because we could use all of the functions, so I'm not sure what servo this is. And some guides were just like omitting it, like ignoring, so I don't know. For the next flight, I will try to be better prepared, but I think like all of the basics were done. So if you just want to like buy it, fly it, I think we have shown everything that is needed. Well, at least if you want to fly with VORs, if you put the FMC, then you can watch like other videos. Okay, let me see. Parking brake. Loop. Okay, so let's get the bleed air from here. Let's go back here. I want the APU. Nice. Okay, so I want those, because this will move the electricity from the APU to the systems. Okay, and with this, I'm not sure if I'm like turning off the engines first or first the generators. So let's try the generators, but first let's close the bleed valves on the engines and open them on the APU. Okay, and let's just try turning them off. Okay, but we still have the APU that is open here, so it should go down to the systems, I think. Okay, and now we can turn off the engines. Okay, outside view. Okay, and so now with this one we can open the ramp, so they unload all of the stuff. Let me just use a red light. I'm not sure if this will do anything. Okay, and the load manager can now unload everything. Hopefully it didn't move with this like crazy landing. Okay, and we can also like kneel down. Where was it? Here, EFP, fuse lowering. Okay, also a great feature. I'm wondering why it's starting with this compartment open, this gear compartment. We'll need to read about this one, because I'm not sure. Can I? Yeah. Okay. Other stuff? Yeah, I don't think so. So, let me just thank you for watching the video. It's nice that the flight was a success, and I see you in future videos. If you have any ideas for interesting flights, please let me know in the comments. Okay? And I see you again in GA Flying. Thank you, and bye-bye.